I forgot to explain about covered arcs in the other video. Some of these counters, like this AT gun and the Martyr, have their covered arcs. Their firing is limited to their front covered arc. It has the red and gray triangle in the corner instead of just the facing triangle. So what that means, it can only fire through its front covered arc. So that hex, that hex, that hex, follow those hex lines out. So anything outside those covered arcs, the vehicle would have to move to fire at. Same as the AT gun. So say this T-34 is down here, it's outside of their covered arcs. So what they would have to do, they would have to spend an impulse to spin or move. So the Martyr would have to spend an impulse to change its covered arc, and then it would be, that's considered the movement. So then it would be the Russian's turn, and if it came back around to the German, the Martyr was still there, the spin's considered a move, so it would pay the moving fire penalty for firing at the T-34. So say at that range, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hexes. So to hit number 6, and it takes a -1 off its roll for moving. So you roll 2d6, rolls a 7. -1 for moving is a 6. So he still scores a hit. At that range, his firepower is 8. T-34's front defense is a 6, so it would be a +2. 8 minus 6 is +2. Go to the +2 column and roll on that. Now remember, he's also has moving fire, so there's going to be a -1 off this die roll as well. +2 column, you roll 2d6. Rolls a 4, -1 is a 3. A 3 on the +2 column is no result. And since it's still his impulse and he has secondary armament, not much, but 1 on the range of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You might as well fire at the Russian rifle squad in the woods. 1 minus the Russians' defense of 4 +2 for the woods is 6. There's a -5 column over here on the infantry combat table. -5, he rolls 2d6, -1 for moving. Rolls a 9. -1 is an 8. 8 on the -5 column is no result. Okay, let's say the T-34 fires back at him. The Martyr's not heavily armored, so he's probably got a good shot. The range is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hexes. 0 to 5 range. To hit number of 6. Rolls 2d6. Rolls an 11. So that's a hit. At that range, T-34's firepower is 7. Martyr 2's front defense is 2. So 7 minus 2 is 5, +5. The +5 column, that's a good column. T-34 rolls 2d6, rolls a 3. Not a good result. Let's roll again. Rolls a 10. 10 on the +5 column is an X. And the Martyr becomes a wreck. The German rolls 1d6 to check for crew survival. Rolls a 6, so the crew does survive. Crew survives, so the German would place a crew counter on the wreck. So since the crew survived, the Russian player would only score 1 casualty point for destroying the tank itself with the crew survived. But the T-34 still has secondary armament fire, so he's going to fire that. He can either fire it at the AT gun or the crew, but he's going to fire it at the crew. Firepower of 2. The crew's defense is a 3. He gets a +1 for being in the hex with the wreck, so his defense is 4. 2 minus 4 is -2 column on the infantry combat table. -2 column, the Russian rolls 2d6. He rolls a 6. 6 and a -2, no result. Okay, see the AT gun, his covered arc is facing up top, so that T-34 is out of his firing arc, so he's going to have to spin. He's going to have to move. So he's going to spin around with this impulse, place a pivot gun marker on him. That just shows that the gun's pivoted, and it will count for a subsequent impulse when he fires. He'll be penalized for moving fire. So on a subsequent impulse, he wants to fire. And that range, as the hit number is a 6, he's going to get -1 to his die roll for pivoting. So he's going to roll 2d6, a 4, -1, it's a 3. So he didn't get the hit. If he got the hit, then he'd subtract 1 off his attack roll as well for pivoting. So that's some stuff with the armor. Of course, the armor has a lot longer ranges, so I just had them close up there just to show some of the mechanics. You can see this KV-1 has a range of 16 hexes, so and when the vehicle has a turret, it can fire at 360, so unlike the covered arc vehicles, it's not penalized for firing in any direction. So once you get these longer ranges, then you have more things that can interfere with your line of sight. So say this KV-1. Say you wanted to fire at the Panzer 3J. Take a line of sight thread. You can see that it clips this one edge of brush. So that's one hex of degrading terrain, and it passes through this wreck hex. So that's 2 hexes of degrading terrain. So that would be a -2 off its to hit number, and it would be also and you'd also subtract 2 off the KV-1's AP firepower in the attack. So let's try this attack with 2 hexes of degrading terrain. The range is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hexes. 9 hexes away would be the 6 to 10 column. 9 hexes away, the KV ones to hit numbers of 7. Now you have 2 hexes of degrading terrain, so it'd be -2 off the die roll. So in actuality, what you need would be a 9 or better to hit. Roll 2d6, you roll a 7. 7 minus 2 is 5, so you didn't get the hit. Say you did get the hit. And that range is firepower is 5. You subtract 2 for the 2 hexes of degrading terrain would be a 3. So this 3 firepower would go against the Panzer 3J's front defense of 6. 3 minus 6 is -3. His attack would be on the -3 column. So roll 2d6 on the -3 column. Roll a 9. 9, cross-reference, the -3 column is a shaken. And the German would have to take a gut check. Say the German's gut check number in this scenario was a 7. Yes, roll 7 or higher. Roll 2d6. Rolled a 3. So he didn't pass his gut check. So he would be shaken. And there's at the longer ranges, you'll start to get a lot more effects with the terrain and degrading terrain and some of those modifiers.